Jumpsteady's album Master of the Flying Guillotine has a little something for everyone. And it's just this week at the Dim Carnival.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dim Carnival. I'm Bill.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Ryan.
And I don't know why I said I'm Bill, but I am. This week we are talking about the second Jumpsteady album. Let me see if they consider... Oh, no, it's considered his debut album, even though the Chaos Theory quote-unquote EP was like absolutely... Well, it's 34 minutes long, but it felt like a full album. We're talking about the debut LP, quote unquote, air quotes, from American rapper Jumpsteady, who is, of course, the brother of Violent J, and sometimes you can really tell. And Master of the Flying Guillotine, guys. It's what I would describe as two albums just bolted together. There's a Kung Fu movie inspired album, which is where the album gets its title, Master of the Flying Guillotine, and Steve, you have some stuff to say about that. And then I feel like there is a very hard divide. I'm sure we'll talk about it, but there's a very hard, a clear demarcation line where the second album begins, and it's mostly about just what a friggin' nerd Jumpsteady is. So it's like the back half's like a nerdcore rap album, and the front half is just like a cool, like very kung fu inspired concept album about the Master of the Flying Guillotine.
I sharpen my blades up. Get your neck cut, I'm the master. Master of the Flying Guillotine, making them scream. When my tiger palm shreds the bodies to smithereens. Pop goes the weasel when the weasel goes pop. Then from up top you see your
I went back and forth. I had harsh words for it that were uncalled for. I have to say, I dare say that this is the most wholesome album ever released.
Oh, it's so
on
wholesome.
Psychopathic
very
Records,
wholesome.
and maybe ever.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Very
I don't
wholesome.
know the future, so. But at this point in time, very much so. Very wholesome. Very endearing at times.
For an album that starts with about a guy explaining about this device that cuts people's heads off, silent as the wind, very wholesome.
Yeah.
So I feel like the clear line of demarcation is Battlefield featuring Samantha. That's where it becomes the second album. And it's very funny because I was listening to the album and I was enjoying it a lot, like way more than I was expecting to enjoy it. But I was like, this is pretty good. Beats are really cool. Production's great. It's fun. It's got a really cool concept. He's like sticking to it throughout. And like legitimately, like right as like Crazy Straight was starting, I was like, I don't even like really remember anything about the first Jumpsteady album. And then Battlefield started, and I immediately remembered everything.
Oh, hi guys!
the first Jumpsteady album. And
This album's way more fucked up than you said, Bill. This album is schizophrenic. It is everywhere, all over the place. And I think that he wanted to have this concept. I have no idea because he completely abandons it like 4 songs in. And then it's just everything. So it's kind of like just a really straight up, like, this is Rob Bruce, doing, but just all the things that he likes, which is, like you said, being a huge nerd.
His one-man show.
He's a good rapper at times.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah,
he's got an interesting. Okay, I'm really surprised to hear you say that, Steve, because I thought you would. You always say you don't like the raps that are like da 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 da. And that's
maybe
I feel
because
like
it was so wholesome. Well, I certainly have notes that there are songs on here that I'm like, this is a straight up 80s Christian rap song.
Oh yeah,
and not on the content, on the music and the cadence. Absolutely. But sometimes I couldn't help. Like, there's like songs I literally have notes where I'm like, this song is not good, but wow, I actually like the story he's telling in this song.
Okay, there was like multiple times where I literally like sat back in my chair. I was like, wait a minute, what is this song about? You know, like, holy shit. There's some songs on here that have some really awesome concepts, even if the songs are a little.
Yeah.
Okay. I just have to say, I dislike the last song so much that it makes me angry. It's a 10 plus minute long song about some fucking, it's like kind of like How They Live ends, but it's some just fucking stupid alien voice Close Encounters bullshit with like an alien rebellion or whatever. But then like the last like at least 2 minutes of the song are just like the flute loop playing over and over again. And like, so like there are a great many psychopathic albums, particularly ICP albums, that end with like a refrain being played again and again. But like there's like a really catchy chorus usually, except for, you know, Real Underground Baby. But like there's like usually like, but even Real Underground Baby had like the whole journey through all 6 Joker's cards. At the end. And like, that's why I was repeating again and again. Or like, there's some like huge anthem with like a bunch of like gang vocals and singing and like other stuff in the sound bed going on. And like, all I could get out of the last, like, however fucking many minutes, the last song just kept repeating and repeating and repeating is, like, when I started playing in bands, like when I started playing music when I was like a teenager, and I was like, oh, you know how we'll make this song like really epic and like really like intense and like have a lot of emotions is like we just keep playing the same thing at the end and like no one's gonna know like how long we're gonna keep playing it. And like I think that everyone who's ever played music has like done that. Where it's just like, you just keep playing like the same thing and the same thing. Because you're like, yeah, I'm locked in. I'm in a groove. This is great. Everyone knows what we're doing right now.
Wrong.
Yeah.
I never did that.
No, it's true.
It's so true. And then you make 3 songs exactly like it.
Mm-hmm.
He just like switched the 3 chords around different ways.
But it's just like the difference between like his like quote unquote epic outro, like Mikey Clark on ICP and whoever else ICP is working with, like their epic outros are like, we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that. And then at the end, like all these crazy sound effects will come in and then we'll slowly fade out, but like we'll have like little hints of this and that happening. And like his idea of an epic outro is like, yeah, man. Yeah. Do it again. Yeah. We'll do it like again and again. Yeah. Keep doing it.
That's 13th Skull, right? That you're talking about. That's the 10-minute song. Cause my only note for that song is, why is this song 10 minutes long?
No one knows.
And then, isn't True Stories 2 the last song?
The hidden track, yeah.
Oh, it's the hidden track. I see.
Yeah, I don't know if I listened to that.
Well, you'll remember it because it's 2 stories that Violent J tells from their childhood. The story of the road and the monks, the whistling monks.
Yes. Which are in the book, so.
They're both in the book, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely didn't listen to this track. I think I like was like waiting for the 10-minute song to end because I was like, well, clearly this is the last song on the album. Why would there be anything else? So that's all.
Yeah. True Story 2, I mean, I'd be surprised if you didn't like it. It was, it's good.
Cool.
But your point stands about 13th Skull. I really have no idea what that one's about. It's some deep shit, man. I think you gotta smoke a lot of weed to understand.
Well, in that case, that's why I don't understand.
So I had the themes of, sorry, Steve mentioned that it's a wholesome album. The themes of the album, there are a lot of them.
Yeah.
But some of them are pretty sweet. Like how you might second guess and fret over a sequence of actions that you took, and thinking about how you could have made different choices that might have had a better outcome. But that ultimately the message being that if you escalate the situation, then the situation will escalate, and that'll generally have worse outcomes. Which was not an album or not a theme that I was expecting to hear on this album.
Yeah. I was very impressed with that song. That was the one where I was like, I don't like the music or the way this song sounds at all, but like, holy shit, he's talking about like being ashamed of not, you know what I mean? Like this is not, I was like, I don't know if it was the first time it really clicked in my head. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not listening to gangster rap.
And there's how do you like the song about Jumpsteady and his wife talking about how heterosexual they are?
Which one is that?
Wait, isn't that the one that his wife's on Crazy Straight?
Yes. Yes.
Crazy Straight.
I don't understand this song. Is what I wrote.
Whoa. Crazy Straight's interesting. It's like it's like his really in your face aggressive song.
On the first date, we're crazy straight.
Crazy Straight. And a lot of the stuff they do is, I don't really know what Crazy Straight, it's like a exaltation. It doesn't really mean anything. Right.
My bowling partner's ass is good shaped. Crazy Straight.
Okay, here's one thing I wanted to say. In Master of the Flying Guillotine, he says a line from a Third Base song, Pop Goes the Weasel, Weasel Goes Pop. Mm-hmm. And I never noticed this before.
Yeah, like I say, a Third Base song and not the Third Base.
They had other songs. And he actually really sounds like Pete Nice. I went back and listened to a couple of Third Base tracks.
He does, yeah,
and they have a very similar, like his actual voice, not only the same kind of type of delivery, but I have to imagine that it's easy for me to imagine that might be an inspiration of his, is Pete Nice.
Oh, definitely.
But what's interesting also is that song, Pop Goes the Weasel, is a Vanilla Ice diss track, and ICP and Vanilla Ice are super cool. So
I think very few people remember it as a Vanilla Ice song.
Oh, really? He gets they beat him up in the
Sure. But I mean, like, there's a difference. Like, I don't think that it's enough of a. I don't think referencing Pop Goes the Weasel, an extremely famous song, is enough to like be like, oh, you shouldn't talk about our homie Vanilla.
I just think
Rob, your friend Rob.
Well, I do think a lot of people don't tend to think of it as a Vanilla Ice track, but it's like explicitly only a Vanilla Ice track, right?
Sure. The video is black and white, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Oh, I'm thinking
it's in color. You're thinking of the other Third Base song.
Right, cool. What's the other Third Base song?
Gas Face.
Gas Face.
Yeah.
My favorite Dick Tracy one.
Okay. Back to the themes. So, that song, If, is the one where he's like reimagining, he's getting like strong armed, back alley or whatever. And then he, thinks about what if I fought back, and then he ends up, the other guy that he didn't know was there ends up beating him up. And then he's like, oh, maybe if I had a gun, but he ends up dropping the gun. And so it just gets progressively worse. And then finally the last line, he's like, what if I just didn't try to fight back, which I thought was really cool. But then the very next track is Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? Praying to Crom so that he could get revenge on his enemy, And then that's the next track is all about like, you gotta go and get him, It's like you just said. That whole last track, it's completely contradictory.
The hell with you.
Yeah, right.
Whenever I hear a really, really long, like whenever I hear like a something on an album that's like just entirely a sound clip from a movie, I think about when I was in a Christian punk band and the pressing plant for the CDs refused to press our CD until we took the samples out of it. Yeah. Because we had a clip from like the movie Roxanne, and we had a clip from I think Tommy Boy. Like we had just a few random like clips, and then like our intro to the album was just like this instrumental build up with Robert De Niro from Raging Bull behind it, and that was like the best thing on the album. We had to take it out.
Oh.
Anyway, sorry, I cut you off, Ryan. That's all I'm doing tonight.
Oh, well, then I was going to say that and then the next track after that is like how he's got his crew and they go around and do cool, like gangsta type stuff or whatever. But then at the end, all of his friends get killed.
Yeah. And then the last song's about how he's so straight that he kills everyone.
Crazy straight.
Crazy straight.
I was thinking like it's really like mundane stuff that makes him crazy straight ultimately, you know? It's like you poached an egg, crazy straight.
I got $1, but she already ate. Crazy straight.
Yes. I was so confused on a bunch of songs. My note for Crazy Straight was, I don't understand this song.
Yeah, the whole time I was listening to Crazy Straight, I was like, is this a boast about like how heterosexual he is, or is it like they keep each other so straight because they love each other so much, like straight as in like on the straight and narrow or like focused or whatever? Sure. And I honestly still do not know.
I gave up thinking that it meant anything. I thought it was just like, yeah, we're like cool, you know?
Family. My family. The whole damn family's crazy straight.
I texted you guys just like 15 seconds into Battlefield when I listened to it the first time. I was not prepared.
To that nice guy and I begged him for a black eye. Don't let shy girls like me pass you by. But for now, my feelings shall remain concealed. Cause it's hit or miss when love is the battlefield. No one can tell us we're wrong.
I'm a big Pat Benatar fan. And so I was like, what's going on here? And then it started and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Maybe
no.
on the next album his daughter will do Hell is for Children.
What I really want to know is how old is this girl?
You know.
37.
Old enough to know better.
Edit that out.
She's calling these boys out in this track, you know? She's got the one guy that she's got a crush on who ignores her. And then she's got all these other boys that are trying to get her attention that she doesn't even give a shit about. You know, they're going to hear the record and they're probably going to have their feelings hurt.
You hear that, Ethan? You're nothing to me. You could die. I wouldn't care, Ethan.
But that Colin's a real dreamboat.
I didn't listen to that song. The second I heard a kid rapping, I said, I hate kids rapping, and I skipped it.
You're the smartest of all of us.
I couldn't look away. It was like a car crash.
Yeah, I was just, I was listening to it on my headphones on the stationary bike, and so I had no escape.
You guys don't pay me enough to listen to that garbage.
We don't pay anything.
Susan really upset.
What? Oh, those are my Soros checks. I always get them mixed up.
Yeah. I keep mailing you hot dogs. Are you getting those?
That was an ornamental hot dog. You weren't supposed to eat it.
Yeah.
Crazy straight.
Crazy straight.
I got an ornamental hot dog. Crazy straight. Ornamental hot dog is absolutely weird out.
I'm gonna post whatever Google image search gives me for ornamental hot dog.
It's gonna be
hopefully it'll be Tim and Eric.
Yeah.
Guys, the Sonar skit.
What's that from?
What is that from? I thought it was amazing. I wanted more.
It's from something because they only had intros or skits that were from movies. So
right.
I just assumed it was a movie that I've never seen and need to see.
You know which D&D movie I've never seen is the one with Tom Hanks that was made as like a...
Oh, I have. I've seen that.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Explain what it was. I'm sorry. I totally interrupted you. I apologize.
Oh, actually, I don't know if I'll be saying it correctly, but my understanding is that it was a film that was made to kind of communicate the reaction to the rise of popularity of Dungeons and Dragons, I guess mostly from like religious folks that it was demonic and it was going to be inviting evil spirits into the house. It
was a satanic panic video.
Yeah.
Not that was an actual brand, but from that hysteria. It's from the
Panic Productions.
Panic line. Buy 10, get one for a penny.
It's apparently from something called Mazes and Monsters. It's a 1982 film. with Tom Hanks.
Oh,
Okay.
that's what he's talking about.
Made-for-television drama film about a group of college students and their interest in a role-playing game of the same name. The movie starred a 26-year-old Tom Hanks in his first leading film role.
I can't believe you've never seen this movie, Bill. I mean, I've skipped it so many times, you know, but I knew that I should watch it. I just never watched it because I knew it was what it was, you know?
Yeah, I watched it because I never saw it back in the day, but I should have, and I don't know how I missed it, so I just, caught up for Jesus.
Yeah, I assumed it was from that movie.
I didn't even think of that. Wow, so I actually saw it.
But it goes into Dungeon Master, which for me is the height of the album, the top track, number one.
We're in a basement role playing D&D, exploring the land of make believe. It's kind of like reading a book anew, except you control what the characters do. Untold adventures await your mind as you become someone else. Intertwined. Some think it's nerdy, that's probably true, but fuck you, it's just what we nerds do.
Loved it.
That's a great song.
It starts off with it's got a couple Gauntlet references in it. Plays the Gauntlet theme at the end. Lovely.
Mm-hmm.
There's a song on this album, and I see if it stands out in my notes real quick, that I wrote. This is a song the music of this song is what John Carpenter would have wrote for one of his movies. And it's, good Lord, what an idiot. It's from my favorite song on the album, I'm a
pendulum bringer, neck bringer, known on the throne as the video game king. I'm a scientist, you might try but miss, cause your style's no match for this flying fist. I'm a Jack the Ripper, a moon miss sipper, a top 10 hottie thick chick.
I really like the song I'm a. I think it sounds awesome. The music reminds me of John Carpenter. Song. And Violent J kills it on that song.
Hell yeah, he does.
So that was my favorite song, and I will actually listen to that song off this album continuing forward. I really, really like that song. So
basically, this album I feel starts off very promising and has some bright spots. In the back half of the album, I really like the song about D&D, Dungeon Master.
Yeah,
but other than that, it starts out very strong and very promising, and I feel like a lot of the music in the first half is really good, and just it really is just, I think he's trying to be I don't know, too wholesome maybe.
I definitely agree. I do want to throw in real quick, I did like Amy's Ghost. I liked the approach to trying to make a scary sounding song, or creepy, and I thought it was really cool. So I wanted to give him props to that, and I did like the Obsolete Man too. I just thought it was a cool song, and I liked the way he sounded as he rapped in his verses.
My note for Obsolete Man was words. He says a lot of words.
He does, yeah.
His style is to just get a lot of words out. Oh, in the track Revenge, he mentions Party Store. And when we listened to what song was that? The off of Hell's Pit.
Where Shaggy's security
Shaggy's
guard.
at the Party Store, yeah. So what I learned was, because we're,
the bass Attack of the Bassheads?
Attack of the Bassheads, yes, Basshead Attack. We were talking about Party Store and not knowing what that was, if it was a party city or whatever, but apparently it's a regional term, specifically in Michigan or Detroit, which they call convenience stores or liquor stores. They call them party stores.
Yeah. That makes a lot more sense. Note. Yes, that was a great note for me too. Very informative.
Yeah. So I appreciate everybody. We got a couple emails. People talk with us on social media to let us know. So definitely appreciate that. So we don't look like
awesome.
Dummies.
Yeah. Dumb California people.
We look hella dumb.
Hella. I didn't hate the album.
I listened to it I usually listen to albums 3 or 4 times, and so I gave it those listens, and I wouldn't say I disliked it. It's something that I would be super proud to have made. He should feel proud, but I think it suffers from a little of lack of consistency with the thematic elements, feel a little bit all over the place. But apart from that, yeah, I liked it. And yeah, I feel like it was a little bit too wholesome.
I don't feel the wholesome was a critique of it for me personally, because if you're like trying to stand out and do something different, having a wholesome album on Psychopathic Records is, whoo boy, that's out there.
I think it just specifically meant like having his daughter on the record.
Yeah. Can't stop putting his family on the record.
But, that's like who he is or whatever, and it's his album,
Sure.
So fucking go for it, dude.
It's up to him. It's his call. It's his big family.
I did feel really bad about her cat Stinky, though. That one I got a little emotional about.
I do feel bad saying last night, I can't listen to this garbage album tonight. I meant it in the moment.
Yeah.
It's not that bad of an album.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just, it starts off very strong, and then, it's just, so much of this album is not what I want, and it's so long. There's so much of it.
That was the other thing I was going to say. It's 18 tracks. Most tracks are very long. I think there's 4 skits, and they're all 50-minute clips of a movie. Mm-hmm. So I think it's 4, if I'm not mistaken. So 14 4-minute long tracks, or 13 4-minute long tracks, and 1 track that's 10 minutes.
10 and a half minutes, yeah.
So yeah, it was, it was arduous to get through the entirety of it, and no offense.
Well, is that going to wrap it up for us then, guys?
I hope so.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, well, we have some news about what we're going to listen to next. We're going to listen to Anybody Killa's Road Fools EP. And then, just as a programming note, we know that once Hell's Pit started, we sort of were very strictly going through every Psychopathic Records release. The next release after Road Fools is A1 Yola by Isham. And owing to the fact that we had skipped a bunch of Psychopathic releases prior to when we started going very strictly by them, we missed the first 2 Isham releases on Psychopathic, and this is the 3rd and final one. So what we're going to be doing is, at some point in the future, we will revisit all of these, but for now we're going to skip A1 Yola. So we're going to talk about the Road Fools EP next week, and then the week after that we'll start going through ICP's The Calm EP. So I know Steve cannot wait for that to happen. So that's what's coming up next down the pike. So thanks to everybody for listening. If you have anything that you want to let us know about, whether we've perhaps whiffed on some other Detroit slang or something like that, let us know by sending an email to dimcarnival@gmail.com. You can follow us on all social media at dimcarnival. Instagram's great. Check out the Dim Carnival YouTube page, because Ryan's doing amazing stuff over there, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and Ryan will get to do some more stuff. So thanks to everybody for listening. We love you guys, and until next week, I'm Bill.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Ryan.
And the Padres just hit a walk-off home run, so, I'm going to go fucking curl up and die. Talk to you guys next time.